The crimson banners of Warlord Zethkar rippled in the artificial atmosphere of his flagship's throne room, each bearing the symbol of a conquered world. 47 systems bowed to his will, their resources feeding his ever-expanding war machine. Today, he would claim the 48th. "Bring forth the human," Zethkar commanded, his voice echoing through the vast chamber lined with the skulls of defeated leaders. The massive doors groaned open, revealing a figure that made several of Zethkar's generals shift uncomfortably. Where they expected a trembling primitive, Ambassador Sarah Chen walked with measured steps, her modest diplomatic attire stark against the opulent brutality surrounding her. She carried no weapons, wore no armor, yet something in her bearing made the veteran warriors uneasy. "I am Warlord Zethkar, conqueror of worlds, devourer of—" "I know who you are," Chen interrupted calmly, her voice cutting through his grandstanding like a blade through silk. "I've read your file. 17 different species subjugated, populations enslaved, resources stripped bare. Quite the resume." The throne room fell silent. No one interrupted Zethkar. Ever. The warlord's four eyes blazed with fury. "You dare." "I dare many things," Chen continued, stepping closer to the throne. "I dare to come here alone. I dare to speak truth to tyranny, and I dare to make you an offer you'll find illuminating." Zethkar's claws extended, scraping against the metal of his throne. "The only offer I accept is unconditional surrender. Your pitiful world cannot resist my armada. Your primitive weapons are useless against my shields." Chen smiled, an expression that somehow managed to be both warm and terrifying. "Weapons? Who said anything about weapons?" She reached into her jacket, causing dozens of energy rifles to train on her. From within, she withdrew a small tablet, its surface glowing with data streams. "This contains everything," she said, holding up the device. "Every detail of humanity's greatest weakness." Zethkar leaned forward, intrigued despite himself. "Speak." "We're terribly inefficient," Chen began, her tone conversational. "We spend enormous resources on art, music, literature, things that serve no military purpose. We waste time on philosophy, on ethics, on caring for those who can't contribute to war efforts. We're hopelessly sentimental about other species." The warlord's interest peaked. Intelligence on human weaknesses would make the conquest swift and decisive. "Continue," he growled. "We have this peculiar habit," Chen said, pacing slowly before the throne, "of adopting the customs of those we encounter. We learn their languages, study their cultures, embrace their traditions. It's quite pathetic, really." "Pathetic indeed," Zethkar agreed, though something nagged at the edge of his consciousness. "We're also remarkably adaptive," Chen continued. "When we encountered the Altarians, we learned their mathematics. From the Centauri, we adopted their meditation techniques. The Kree taught us their engineering principles." Zethkar's primary eyes narrowed. "What are you saying?" Chen's smile widened. "I'm saying that in the 6 months since your invasion fleet entered our system, we've had time to study you. Your technology, your tactics, your culture, and most importantly, your laws." She activated the tablet, projecting a holographic display that filled the chamber. Text in the ancient Vorka script, the foundational law of Zethkar's empire, materialized in the air. According to the Codex Dominion Article 7, subsection 12, Chen read aloud in perfect Vorka, "Any being who successfully defeats a warlord in intellectual combat before the assembled court may claim his holdings as tribute." The color drained from Zethkar's face. Around the room his generals shifted uncomfortably. The law was ancient, sacred, and absolute. "You dare invoke the old ways?" Zethkar snarled. "I invoke your own laws," Chen replied. "Unless, of course, the great Zethkar fears the mind of a primitive human." The challenge hung in the air like a blade. To refuse would mark him as a coward before his own troops, a death sentence for any warlord. To accept meant risking everything on a battle of wits against a species he'd underestimated. "Name your challenge," he growled. Chen's smile became predatory. Strategic forecasting. You will present your plan for conquering Earth. I will present humanity's counter-strategy. Your assembled court will judge the victor. For the next 4 hours, Zethkar outlined his invasion strategy with the precision of a master tactician. Orbital bombardment, ground assault, systematic elimination of resistance, a plan that had worked flawlessly 47 times before. Then Chen began her response. She didn't present Earth's defenses. Instead, she revealed how humanity had already begun the conquest of Zethkar's empire. Not through violence, but through something far more insidious. Inspiration. While you threatened us, we were broadcasting, she explained. Music, art, literature, philosophy, everything you see as weakness. Every world in your empire has been receiving our transmissions for months. The holographic display shifted, showing data streams flowing across the galaxy. Your subjects are learning that there are alternatives to tyranny. They're discovering creativity, compassion, cooperation. They're remembering what they were before you conquered them. Chen gestured, and the display showed uprising markers appearing across Zethkar's territory. World after world, lit up with rebellion. Not violent revolution, but something worse, hope. On Altair Prime, they're composing symphonies. On Centauri Beta, they're writing poetry. On Kree Station, they're teaching their children about freedom. Chen's voice carried across the stunned chamber. You can destroy Earth, Warlord, but you cannot destroy an idea whose time has come. The assembled court stared in horrified fascination as their empire crumbled in real time. Not from military might, but from the simple revelation that life could be more than mere survival under the boot of a conqueror. Zethkar's roar of rage echoed through the chamber, but it was the sound of a defeated beast. By his own laws, witnessed by his own court, he had lost. Chen stepped forward and placed her hand on the arm of the throne. By right of intellectual victory, I claim this empire not for Earth's dominion, but for its liberation. As the ancient transfer protocols activated, dissolving Zethkar's authority and transferring it to the human ambassador, Chen spoke softly, to the broken warlord. You wanted to know humanity's greatest weakness? You're right. It's our sentimentality. We can't help but believe that everyone, even conquerors, can choose to be better. She turned to address the stunned assembly. The age of the warlords is over. Welcome to the age of voluntary cooperation. In claiming an empire through wit rather than warfare, humanity had done something unprecedented. They had conquered through liberation, won by teaching others to win, and claimed victory by giving it away. Across 47 worlds, beings who had forgotten the meaning of freedom began to remember. And at the center of it all, a human ambassador sat upon a conqueror's throne, using its power for the most human purpose of all, making it unnecessary.